to the board, just to review it with you. And we went back and we updated it based off of input from what you all had given us, and we kind of talked about at the board as well as USDA. And we resubmitted the PER to USDA. And Candace, I believe we sent that as well to you for distribution.
Yes, I did it for everybody. Yes.
Okay.
It was pretty extensive, yeah.
Yes, sir. It's pretty. There's a lot going on with that
Yes.
document. And so, basically, USDA approved the PER and the EA, which is required before we submit the online application. And we had the online application pretty much locked and loaded, just waiting for USDA approval of the two documents. And they gave us that approval, and we submitted that application. I don't remember exactly what date that was.
Did we lose you?
Yeah, we did just lose him. Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
What a time to get.
Let me just state for the record while we're paused here, I apologize. I just started the recording. I had paused the recording, waiting for everybody to start the meeting, and I forgot to start it. So we just started the recording during his presentation.
Oh, boy. Well, at least you got the audit by heart. You know it.
Right.
So
Here
we don't know what
here-
happened with the application. All we know is right now is that we got the preliminary approval.
Here he is. He's coming back.
Are you
in.
back?
He's connecting right now.
I see it.
Okay.
Are you back?
Yeah. Sorry. Yes, I am. Sorry about that.
No worries. So you submitted the application after the double
Yes.
approval. What happened?
Yes. Well, we're waiting. So the next
Okay.
step is that basically we are waiting for the USDA to provide the town with a letter of conditions, and that letter of conditions will outline, obviously, the loan, the grant amount, and all the conditions that are associated with it. Which,
Right.
it's not anything. There won't be anything out of the norm for those conditions.
Sure.
And so where
Are you
it goes
optimistic?
after, yes, I am. I mean, I think one of the good things, bad things is it is the town is under that consent decree, which usually signals that there's more dollars that should be available for the grant funding.
Great.
And so that's always a positive. And so we'll wait and see what they come up with.
Yep.
And we'll go from there.
Great.
And the other thoughts to think about is kind of after what happens after the letter of conditions. And basically the next step is to get the design moving. And basically what that requires is USDA money does not become officially available till you put the project out to bid for construction. So assuming that the council decides to move forward with the project, we'll have to make a determination as to, I think you have two options. As I understand it, you can organize a municipal property corporation if you don't already have one, or you can
No,
put
we
it out
don't.
to vote. Yeah, you can put it out to vote to, go into debt. And so, so those are the two options. And, a municipal property corporation, I don't think is a big deal for the council to get organized. And if there's some help that needs to be there to put that together, I'm quite sure that your legal counsel could help, and or we could get USDA to provide some guidance with that as well. And then at that point, you would also have to get a bridge loan, which would basically cover the cost of getting from where we are today to the project out to bid. and basically to the point of where we would award the construction, the contractor, the construction work after the bidding process. And then once that's out to bid, then there's I kind of don't USDA's money will come available. It complicates it a little bit. So I kind of want to wait to go through that step till we get to that point. But I think the main thing is just understanding that we're waiting for the letter conditions, and need to be thinking about assembling a municipal property corporation, which I think is what most communities do, and that we've worked with on that. And then the bridge loan, which I think we can help get that put together through. I mean, there's a couple of different entities. You can talk to WIFA. I know that USDA has been utilizing the Arizona Community Foundation on some projects, and that application and process may be a little bit easier than WIFA, but we just have to look at the options when we get to that point. But I think.
Yeah, Mike, this is all good. I'd like to see, the pathway we can take while we're waiting to get the result. Let's assume the result's going to be positive. I believe it'll be positive. I'd like to do some steps in advance of that, so to facilitate the timing, so that we can, not delay at all. So if you have suggestions of things that we could do now with our attorney, assuming that we're going to get this approval, which I think we will, and now so we don't wait till to get that letter. Let's see if I think we're willing to put some energy into going forward in preparation of a positive response. If we get a negative response, then it doesn't matter anyway.
Right. So on that, again, I think you need to, the council, or maybe Candace needs to check into organizing a municipal property corporation, which that basically involves having some people in the community that is you've worked with before, or again, the attorney may describe it differently, but I'm just describing what I have experienced with other communities.
Great.
And so and it might be 3 people, it might be 5, something like that, and they get set up and get approved and voted in, and all that stuff, and then so now you've got your municipal property corporation. And then what we could do is put a couple of package together, one from WIFA, say, and one for Arizona Community Foundations for the bridge loan, and then kind of make a decision which direction you want to go in, and just kind of get that ball rolling a little bit based off of what you're saying there.
Yeah,
so
that's my recommendation. Yeah, I like
okay, so we'll put the two together for the bridge loan, and I don't know, Candace, whatever you need help with on the municipal property corporation, that's kind of out of my
Candace,
area
there
of
might be something for you to
expertise.
do after August, just to keep you busy. Okay, I see Alex has her hand up, and hold on. Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike. Hang in there. Alex,
sir.
please.
Mike might be the one that needs to stay on here to answer the question.
Yes.
Is he still on there?
He's here. He's here.
Okay, so in our paperwork for the wastewater treatment plant, this book that we have, on page 29, it talks about table 25 project funding scenarios. And the reason I'm asking about this is the bottom line for what's going to happen to our rate users. So it says that we have how many rate users? 240, I think. It says here for the total estimated monthly user rate, if we get a 75% grant, which is the lowest fee on here, it says $128. So my question is, on a user's bill, this $128, again, this is the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is 100% loan at $187.
Right,
So let's
right.
say our resident pays $40 for a sewer bill. So if we get the 75% grant, is the $128 going to be an addition onto their sewer bill monthly?
No, that's all incorporated. That should have everything inclusive in that. And I'm a little disadvantaged because I don't have that that document and that page in front of me. But what USDA requires is to look at different scenarios, just how we've laid it out for them. And they kind of take it from there. They also look at there should be in there, I believe, I'm trying to remember exactly how they say that, but they look at a median household income factor, I believe might be how they say it. I don't think I'm saying it exactly right, but they take 1.5% times the weighted median household income from the area in the town, and we use the 2010 census for that because that was the latest. The 20 is not available yet, and that basically showed a median income of 66,000 for the town of Jerome.
Wow.
I'm doing that from memory, so hope I'm saying that right, Candace. Does
I
that
thought it was
ring a
less,
bell?
but I thought it was in the 50s myself, but I'm not sure.
Okay, well, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. I'm remembering a different community, but maybe it's 56,000. But and that's where I'm a little bit worried because they kind of compare that to the median household, the average median of the state of Arizona, which I think is like 43.
Wow.
And so USDA is going to have to really, sharpen their pencil with this project. It's just such a, 6.6 million. It's just such a massive project because of the collection, the main collection line that we're upgrading, and the access, to the plant. The plant itself, is if you just look at that, you're not really looking at, something as crazy and outrageous.
Yeah.
So, it's not, so to answer your question, it's not that number plus what they're paying. What they're paying is included in that number.
Thank you. Let's move along. Jane has got her hand up.
I have actually quite a few questions, and I'm wondering if we should have a special meeting to discuss this with Mike and whoever else when they have stuff available, that it might be easier to answer these questions because
Okay.
the two alternatives, 1 and 2, I still have issues with selecting 2, honestly. And I would like to ask questions more in detail, possibly at another time.
Sure.
And I'm really uncomfortable in doing having a group 3 to 5 people for the city decide what's going to happen until we know exactly what we're getting ourselves into here.
And I agree. And I don't think there was anything being decided today.
Okay.
I think it was just an information
Exactly.
update.
Thanks.
Candace,
Exactly.
would you agree? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Jane,
Let's do that.
Jane,
Let's
what-
schedule a special meeting for that, Jane. So with Mike, and maybe we'll do a doodle thing to check a date, like Candace
Yes.
does, and see what
Okay.
works. But that's a great suggestion, and then we can see how we want to manage this little 3 to 5 group, if in fact that's part of the solution. But yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I think
Councilman-
we need
Jane-
questions answered.
Questions
first.
answered. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's why we put it together so
Yeah,
that we can,
absolutely.
it's,
Yeah.
and,
I
our work is, as we're looking at it and we go through it, we put it together the best way we can. And,
Yep.
I know, Jane, you've had some great concepts and ideas that, you know, it's a team effort, so we need to keep it that
Exactly.
way.
Bingo. Absolutely.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate your great report. It's good. It's
good, good. Could
Well, I
you
think-
possibly forward us your questions? So in the meantime, we kind of have an opportunity to look at them, you know, before we
I
just,
could.
okay,
There's
That would be
probably gonna
great.
end up being some back and forth about them, though.
Yeah,
That's
don't worry
fine.
about it. No,
Okay.
that's
that's
good,
what it's all
Jane.
about.
Jane, we
Okay.
want your input on this. Absolutely.
Right, right. And
Absolutely.
it'll make our.
Even Alex
once
likes
we-
the idea. I
Yeah.
see a thumbs up.
Once we get together, then it'll make that meeting more productive.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea. Let's do it. I think the opportunity is great, but we just have to make sure we're doing it correctly and in the best interest of
Absolutely.
Jerome. We're all in
Absolutely.
agreement. I love it. So
Yep.
Candace, are you okay with that?
Yes, I am. I got it.
Got it. Thank you. If there are no further questions for Mike, let him continue on his journey. Stay safe. You get the
Thanks,
questions,
Mike.
Jane, and
Thank you.
then we'll get the doodle to figure a good date for our get together. Thanks so much, Mike. Really appreciate it. Well done.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Council. Have a good
Okay, all the
evening.
best. If everyone's okay, can we move to our ordinances and resolutions? Do we need a break? Or are we okay to continue? Continue? Good. Item 8A, second reading and possible adoption ordinance number 478, an ordinance of the Town Council of Town of Jerome, Yavapai County, Arizona, amending section 509, quote, signs of the Jerome zoning ordinance.
Mayor Jane has her hand up.
Again, oh my God. Hi, Jane. Please.
Just one tiny thing. What's this deal about, well, I saw it last time, skeletons.
Hey, this is the ghost town. We gotta have
Yes.
skeletons.
We have them around town. People seem to like them. Does that
Yeah.
mean the ones that are there get to stay, but no more?
That's a good
If
question.
we
I don't know
adopt
the answer
this,
to that.
because it says they're prohibited.
Ah. That's a
Can you
great
direct
catch.
me to where you're looking, Jane? Sorry.
Oh, okay. I gotta.
That would be under prohibited
find-
signs.
Prohibitive signs, Sage.
That is on page 10 of 11, resolution
8.
631. At the top of the page,
it.
mannequins, skeletons, statues displaying, wearing, or holding any advertising. Okay, so
Yeah.
does this mean skeletons that don't have signs or advertising content are fine?
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's what it sounds
Okay.
like to me too. Are you okay with
So-
that?
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't
So,
know.
Yeah, so no marketing skeletons allowed, but skeletons are
No
okay.
flag waving skeletons.
No flag waving skeletons. I like it. That's good. And even Rusty likes it. Okay, any other questions or comments on this second reading of 478? We could adopt it today if we want to.
Yeah.
So if there's,
Motion to
I see
approve.
Alex, is that your hand up? I see a couple of fingers there.
That is my hand.
Okay, yes, please.
Okay, so we were just on the last page of prohibited signs. And it says you can't have a rotating barber pole. But on the beginning, the barber pole, the last sentence says that it is rotating with the aid of electric motor. Does anyone on the council have a problem with striking the whole last sentence out of the barber pole?
Can I just interrupt here for 1 second?
Candace
Yes,
has a
please.
comment.
The language that you're looking at is what was adopted at the last meeting by resolution. And I actually had included a prior version of that resolution in the packet, and I corrected that today. So I hope you're looking at the most recent one, but I don't think that changed. But anyway, that language has already been adopted by the resolution. You can change the resolution. You can amend it. But I just wanted to clarify that that was adopted at the last meeting, and you can simply change the resolution if you need to.
Any discussion or concern about that?
I just think it's odd to have it at the beginning, talking about it moving and making you go all the way to the prohibited signs to say that you can't have it move. I just feel that it's weird. The beginning says it moves and then the end says
contradiction.
it's prohibited. Yeah, exactly.
How would we address that
So
then? Just
I don't-
delete?
Yeah, can we just do an amendment to strike that sentence out of this resolution that we adopted last month?
I would think that you could. It has nothing to, I mean, it does have a lot to do with the ordinance, but it's a separate, would be a separate motion from the ordinance. You'd have to make a separate
Okay.
motion to amend the resolution and then adopt the ordinance.
So what do we do now? If we want to follow,
And I do see
Okay,
what you're,
well,
I'm sorry, I do see what you're saying. But in the first page, it's simply the definition of a barber pole. It doesn't say it's allowed. It just defines it.
Right.
agreed. So let's just leave it in and let's just do the motion to adopt the resolution.
yeah, and if we need to change it down the road,
Ordinance,
we could.
The
So we
ordinance.
have a motion from Alex to approve this. Is
The
there a
ordinance.
second?
Wait.
What?
Is the motion to adopt the ordinance, Alex?
Yes, ordinance
Yes.
478.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Is there a second, please?
Second.
Sage? Thank you, Sage, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Ordinance 478 passes. Moving to item 8B, second reading and possible adoption of ordinance number 480. An ordinance of the Town Council of the Town of Jerome, Yavapai County, Arizona, amending the Jerome Town Code by the addition of new Article 8-7, quote, short-term rental regulation. I love it.
Jack, I would like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 480.
That's great. Is there
Seconded.
And second by Sage. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ordinance 480 has been passed. Keep your fingers crossed, ladies. Let's hope we move forward with that. Item 8C, resolution now, resolution number 634. A resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of Jerome, Arizona, amending the adopted fee schedule by the addition of a water line maintenance charge.
Mayor,
I
I
would
ju-
make a motion to approve this.
Thank you, Sage. And I hear this discussion, question from Candace.
oh, I just wanted to comment that.
Need
I
a
think-
second.
A second, could we get a second? Alex or,
Second.
second by Jane. Thank you, Jane. Sorry about that.
Just a comment that I did have this reviewed by both Dan Jackson, our consultant, and Bill Sims, and they both approved it.
Thank you. That's awesome. So we have a motion, a second to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 634 passes. Moving to 8D, the first reading of ordinance number 481. An ordinance of the town council of the town of Jerome, Yavapai County, Arizona, amending Article 7-9, quote, International Fire Code, quote, of the Jerome Town Code to adopt the International Fire Code 2018 edition, including appendices B, C, D, E, F, and G, together with amendments thereto. Wow. Glad you're here for this, Rusty. Do we have any, yes, Alex?
Okay, I have to pull this out of here. Chapter 9, Fire Protection Systems. F. 903.2, Group R1 and R2 occupancies of more than 1,000 square feet. Where
Okay,
required, an automatic a fire sprinkler system shall be installed throughout any. So I'm just worried about our houses. 1,000 square feet is not that big of a house, so we're gonna make all new residential construction have fire sprinklers, Rusty?
No, this is not how it reads. I sent you a bunch of definitions in there. R1 and R2 are primarily motels, hotels,
Okay.
boarding houses, apartments, dormitories, live work situations, monasteries, vacation timeshare properties, and it's a new construction. This does not pertain to existing structures. So,
Okay, so if someone was to build a new house,
If they
a
built-
little bit over 1,000 feet, they would
No,
have to put sprinklers in it if it was a single family residential?
single family resident is an R3.
Okay, thank you,
And
Rusty.
that's the next one down, which is 3,000 square feet, which we adopted in June of 2009. And that one there, I could not change even if I wanted to, because anything we adopted before December of 2009 in regards to single family residences, I cannot make any stronger than that because we adopted it before that date. So
Okay, and it,
That-
on the
that
first
was sta-
page,
that was state law, so.
I understand when state law ties your hands and you can't do anything about it. I appreciate the clarification. So I have one other question. On the
Okay,
first page, Exhibit A, it is the 109.1.1, and it's all the way down at the bottom. And it talks about, or the requirements of this code are adequately satisfied by other means. It's
um,
about the appeals, it's about people, about decisions for codes.
right,
An
this is,
application, I'll read the whole that whole last paragraph. An application for appeal shall be based on a claim that the true intent of this code or the rules legally adopted therein under have been interpreted. I'm sorry, incorrectly interpreted. The provisions of this code do not fully apply, or the requirements of this code are adequately satisfied by other means. I just don't understand what that means. Do you understand what that means?
well, what it's basically saying is that when they appeal, they can only appeal my interpretation of the code, not the
Okay.
code itself. So
Mhm.
if they can say, I disagree with how he's interpreting that, then there would be grounds for appeal. You can't just say, okay, I think these guys should have their way because I feel that I agree with them. You can't change the code. So it's kind of pretty much what that's saying.
Candace has a comment.
Yeah, just a
Alex.
a question to clarify what Alex is talking about. It also sounds, Rusty, that you can base an appeal on a claim that the requirements of the code are adequately satisfied in some other way. So if
Right.
somebody said, well, I shouldn't have to do this because this is taking care of the problem, they would have a
Right.
basis for appeal. Is that right?
Well, they'd have to, if they say, okay, I want to do it this way, and it does meet the intent of the code,
Right,
then I can accept that.
right. So it could
But,
be on that basis.
yeah,
Thanks. I see
that's
Jane has
pretty
her
much,
hand up too. Jane?
Thank you.
I
Thank
just
you,
wondered,
Candace.
Oh, sorry, Alex. I thought you were finished. Sorry.
Thank you, Candace, for clarifying that, because I was hoping it was some sort of gray area like that, we could accommodate our people here in Jerome with existing conditions that don't have to come up to, codes like this with their very old structures, is why I asked these questions.
well,
Thank you for
most,
listening. Sorry, Jane.
No, great questions, Alex. No, they're all good. Thank you. Jane, please. And then Rusty will get back to you.
Okay.
Jane?
I just wondered about our existing water lines. Are there any problems
well,
with our
it's,
existing water lines as
that-
far
that
as
really-
hooking up fire suppression systems?
it
And
depends
sprinklers.
upon where you're at. Okay, so, and there is provisions to deal with that. So if you were not able to meet adequate fire flow and you want to put an apartment building in or whatever, you can put in pressurized tanks to help facilitate that. that would be, water would come into that, stored in that tank that would meet the flow requirements. So, most of our water lines are in pretty good shape, and there's actually an amendment down here at the bottom of the page, and as far as fire flow requirements. And in a lot of areas, we only have 2-inch lines or whatever. And a 2-inch line is going to give me 1,250 GPM into a house, so, or a structure. Okay. So, and that would meet the intent of the code. So therefore, we're not like down in Cottonwood where you got 20 PSI and you need a 4-inch line or whatever. We do not really have that problem here because of the pressures we have in our lines.
Great.
So,
Thank you.
but as far as everybody's talking about our old decrepit homes and stuff, this is not affecting existing structures, you know. Existing
Got that, thank
structures
you.
are only if there's a change of use in a business and it's going to a higher hazard. And that it doesn't mean that, oh, we're gonna have to go back and sprinkle every building in Jerome. That is not what this
No.
is stating.
Thank you,
So I
Rusty.
Just
Thank
want to
you.
make that clear. that this
Absolutely.
is Not gonna affect the residents with their homes.
Thank you.
Unless they
That's good, that's
Tear
good
down
news.
their house and they build a 3,000 square foot home on the
Right.
same piece of property.
I see Alex has 4 fingers up this time. Whoa, this is a big question. All right, Alex.
And the,
Yeah.
and the other reason I ask is you do know that we have that Hotel Jerome that we want to work on. So we're just
Mhm.
trying to figure out how we can keep everything safe for what we need to do and keep everything safe for what people want to do. I'm not criticizing you, Rusty. You keep this
Yeah.
town safe. Thank you, Jerome
Mhm.
Fire. Our
Yep.
auditor pointed out how much our trucks made because we went and fought a lot of fires.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
thank you so much for answering all the questions, keeping our town safe. And if you need someone, Rusty's usually there right away if you have an
Yep.
emergency. Sorry, Rusty, to
Absolutely.
throw you under the bus, but you're the man. Whenever we have
Mhm.
problems, you're there.
I
Thank
like
you,
it.
Rusty. Thank you, Jerome Fire.
And,
Yay, ditto,
just-
ditto, ditto. Thank you,
just-
Alex. I see
just
Sage, we're
note
all in
too-
agreement.
Just a note too, I think Candace said forward to you that I did send this to the state fire marshal for review
Yeah,
and got their approval from the state fire
Thank you.
marshal's office.
well, let's see if we can move it forward now. Do we have a motion to accept?
One more thing before you
Yeah.
make your motion there.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that we have an ISO audit coming up on the 17th.
Yes,
And this is also instrumental in keeping our ISO rating
Thank
at
you.
a 4. So,
thank you. That's lobbying. Do you know that? Do you, that's lobbying. I love it.
Shameful.
There you go. I love it.
Mayor,
He's a lobbyist too. So if we can get a motion
Mayor?
for resolution 6, oh, sorry, Candace,
so
yes?
I was just going to clarify, the ordinance is just the first reading. There's no action needed. The resolution is the one with the language.
The
in it.
resolution, I'm saying resolution
Yeah.
635.
Mhm.
Yes, that's what I was referring to. Did I misspeak that? I'm
No,
sorry.
you spoke just fine.
Okay, so resolution 635, if we can get a motion to approve, please? Alex, maybe, Sage? To adopt resolution 635? Oh, no, sorry, 481.
No, you were right the first
I was
time.
right, 635, yeah. I know, I thought, nobody raised their hands. I'm wondering, what am I saying something wrong? This is the one we were just talking about. I'll make a motion.
Motion to approve.
There you go. Thanks, Sage. Appreciate it. Is there a second, please? Jane,
I'll
second.
second.
Okay, Jane second already. Thank you. Any further discussion, please? Hearing none. All those in favor of resolution 635, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it. We have adopted resolution number 635. Thank you, Rusty. Thank you so
Just
much.
Mayor? Can I,
Yes, Karen.
just a comment on process here. I noticed that Mandy has been muted and I haven't heard her voice lately.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, I was just gonna, you read my mind on that. Mandy, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm
Mandy?
still here. I just click it and I click off of it.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to be sure because I just didn't notice
So,
you.
I don't hear you voting, so I assume it's a silent vote.
Oh, sorry. No, I've been hitting it and hitting it off. It's just I'm in a place with some noise, so I
Okay,
don't
no
want you guys
worries,
to have
no
to hear
worries.
it.
We're glad you're
Thank
there. We're glad you're well. That's the key. I see we have the fire chief with his hand up. Yes, sir.
Just wondering if Candace, you can give me a copy of the minutes with the approval on that,
Okay,
so that I can present it to our ISO
Great.
person. So,
Right.
thank you.
Good, thanks. And again, please relay the sincere appreciation of all the council members for the work of the fire department and what you and your staff are doing and continue to do. It's so appreciated. Thank you. Moving along now to 8F, Resolution 636. A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Jerome, Arizona, approving a conditional use permit for a temporary shipping container at 44-6 Clark Street. And I see the Robinsons there. Yay, all right. Any discussion on that?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I just want to say that it looks like, hold on a second. It looks like planning and zoning did a really good job of making sure that everything was correct and accurate. They've listed in here that they will not even get their certificate of occupancy until that is removed from the property. I would like to make a motion to approve this.
thank you, Sage. Is there a second, please? Then we can have a
I will
discussion.
second, Jack.
Thank you, Alex. I see Mandy's hand up. Mandy, question or comment?
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I was literally going to just point out the same thing about
Thank
the
you.
certificate of occupancy. Thank you.
That sounds great. Awesome. No further discussion. Call the question. All those in favor of resolution 636, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no.
Aye.
Resolution 636 passes. Best wishes for the project over there and getting it done. We're wishing you
very
well.
much.
through that
All the
process.
very best. Best wishes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving to unfinished business, item 9A. Well, COVID-19 is still here, and now I hear this BA Omicron is hitting around and spreading and is very active. So in terms of our protocols, I'm comfortable just continuing where we are, safe for our employees and keeping a lot. Candace, you have any input on that?
I will do whatever council's comfortable with.
Yeah. Yes,
Alex has already
I see Alex and Sage. So Alex and then Sage, please.
How about I let Sage go first? Sage, do you have any kind of numbers of what Yavapai County is having right now that we can base off of?
You can look at the dashboard and follow the dashboard. The numbers are up, but my understanding is that the sickness is not near as bad with these.
is bad. Correct.
So
Well,
And
we'll
then
know
my
next
other
week. The issue is
question,
they think they'll know better next week. It's just starting to emerge in Arizona. It's in a couple of states and a couple of countries around the world are seeing it aggressively move. They say probably next week we'll have a better idea. Sorry, Alex.
then-
Yes.
and then my question is, what about the surrounding municipalities? Are they still doing Zoom meetings? I see that we have
Yes.
Curtis Lindner on here. Are the Board of Supervisors still meeting in person? It's really not the ideal situation to be on Zoom. It is much better for the dynamic of us all to actually be sitting there so that we are together when we do this. Zoom is so impersonal. So I know that we want to be safe, but I am chomping at the bit to get back to having the people there and sitting behind that dais again. So I don't want to do anything that's unsafe, but I think that we should look at surrounding communities, see who's open and what's going on. If you think that in this next week, we're going to see what goes on, I'm okay with doing Zoom again for another month, but maybe next month we can talk about it again, about
Yes,
sitting down
absolutely.
together.
I agree with
I
you.
don't see how we're gonna do budget meetings and be able to actually have our community there if we can't start meeting in person. So
Maybe a great point. I agree with you, Alex, 100%. Candace, maybe when we set up this next meeting that we're going to do, in the next couple of weeks with the water, with Mike and from Pace Engineering, maybe we can add it to the agenda to discuss this, to see how we want to do it, if that's all right, since we'll all be together at that meeting. And it'll be in the next week or two.
Okay,
So I agree with you, Alex, 100%. So let's do that. We'll discuss it at our upcoming special meeting and see where we are at that point, if we can do the in-person meetings, if the numbers are in our favor. We'll know more about what's
question.
going on in our adjacent communities in Yavapai. Yes,
Yes,
Jane.
and we should listen to what Jane and Mandy have to say too. We
Yes.
should hear everyone on the council, and Sage still has her hand up too as well.
Okay, let's go Sage and Jane.
So I'm kind of in the same place as Alex. I would really like to see us get back into in-person meetings and let the public participate. We can open windows, we can keep the air running, we can
Cool.
keep the
I'm okay with
plexiglass
that.
up, we can require masks. I mean, I think we really need to get back to our community. And there's so many people in this community that don't even have the capability of doing this Zoom. And I think that it's really important that we get back to them.
Okay, no, but I can't dispute that whatsoever. You're right. I mean, I agree. Jane, your thoughts?
I just wondered about town hall and how staff feels about that as well.
speaking for myself, I'm pretty isolated back here. So it's really not me, I would be more concerned about how Kristen and Melanie, those two interact more, and Rosa with the public. So, and I can't speak for them, so I really can't say, but by the time we discuss it again, I'll be able to, I'll check.
So I think we just added to the agenda of our meeting in 2 weeks, and then before we have our next meeting as a council, we'll be in a position to say, okay, we're going to open it up if everybody's comfortable.
Say-
Mr. Mayor, can I clarify something?
Please.
I'm really talking just about meetings. I have no problem if they don't want public coming in on a regular basis. When we're having meetings, we can social distance, we can make people mask. If they don't want, with the doors open, it's hard to keep the tourists from coming in and wanting to roam those halls and check out our really cool old building of a town hall. So it's a little bit of difference between opening, in my opinion, to the public, the town hall itself, because I think that they can run it functionally the way that they're doing it right now. And if they don't feel safe, we should keep it closed for them. But
for
I would really
meetings,
like to
but for
see
meetings,
us
yeah.
get back in front of
Yeah,
our,
no, so would I. I agree. I think we all agree with that. And do we want to, we could just say we're going to have a next meeting in person. And if something comes up in the meantime, we can always cancel that. If there's an outbreak or something unexpected, but I have no problem with that. Alex too, and I see Mandy has a hand up. If
Yeah,
we
like-
have our next council meeting open. Yes, Mandy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we need to be able to have that in touch thing. I just want to make sure that our staff is comfortable and that the public who isn't comfortable coming to an in-person meeting also has the ability to participate and knows what those steps would be to do so. A little reminder after, as long as we've been doing it this way, might be good.
Cool, thank you. So I think we're all in agreement. Let's hope and plan that we can do our next council meeting open. And unless there is some significant change that in the data that comes out in the next couple of weeks that compels us to change that.
So to clarify, then we're not going to have this discussion at the special meeting. We're just going to go with.
Correct,
Okay, all
correct. I
right.
think I think we all reached a comfort level now, so we're good.
Town hall will remain as it is, but the next
Closed.
whatever meetings will be open.
Open, yes.
Okay.
And I like the idea, Sage, with the fan, windows open. Let's make sure we're creating an environment there that is conducive to everybody being there. But it's clearly the best option for us. I think so too. Yeah,
Okay,
very cool. Everybody okay? Good. Moving right along, let's get to a new business. Item 10A, intergovernmental agreement with Yavapai County for election services. What's that about?
this is a renewal of our agreement with the county so that they will do our elections for us.
Oh, great.
Definitely want to renew this.
Yes, can we get a motion?
motion to approve.
Thanks, Sage. Is there a second, please? to
I would
approve the-
like a little clarification. Is this the same price that they always charge us to do this? Because I didn't see any bottom line of any of that sort of information.
I don't think the price has changed. It's just, they just need
Okay.
to renew the agreement.
Are you
And we-
okay with that,
We
Alex?
allow them, we are agreeing for a discounted price to serve as a ballot drop-off site, which means our drop box, and to either provide a second vote center or as a training site or a second poll worker. We agree to this each year. They don't often ask, but if they did, we would accommodate it somehow.
Great.
Okay,
okay
then
with
I'll
that, Alex?
second. I'll
Thanyou,
second
Alex.
Sage's motion.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we have passed our intergovernmental agreement renewal with Yavapai County for election services. Item 10B, Series 12, restaurant liquor license for Cornish pastry. Wow. maybe-
Correction, it is pasty, not pastry. I
Oh,
made
it's
that
pasty,
mistake.
pasty,
Yes,
yes,
it's a
pasty, yeah.
sandwich shop, not a pastry shop.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think it was a pastry shop. Thank you, thanks. Pasty, I love it, that's so funny.
Sorry, as a Michigander, I gotta argue a pasty is a pasty and not a sandwich. Pasty is a,
Well, it's
pasty is a
definitely
hand
not a
pie.
pastry.
It
It's
is
a
definitely not
New
pastry,
Yorker.
but it is a hand pie and it is classic and traditional.
I love it, I love it.
It's
Welcome
a
to
thing.
Jerome, the pasty pastry capital. Okay, there you go. What do you recommend? Any thoughts on reviewing or
Alex has
recommending?
her hand
I
up
would-
there.
Who does? Alex,
would
please.
like
Yes,
to-
Alex.
I would like to ask a question if anyone saw what they said the occupancy could be in this space.
I didn't see it, but I counted the chairs.
Well, how many chairs did you
They
count?
say 100, but I think that their actual
Mhm.
occupancy rules for
100?
fire code are
They're saying
less.
100%.
Oh, 100%.
It's 100%. They're
Oh,
giving
is
the
it?
wrong
Okay.
information on this license. They're supposed to be
Yeah.
telling us how many seats they have, and they're telling us how much of the restaurant is going to be bar and how much of it is going to be restaurant, but they're not telling us how many seats they have.
Well, I will say that their menu looked delicious. And then I will also wonder, as long as the fire marshal is okay with the setup. They're talking about having a bar. And in here it said that they needed to have prices for liquor and they needed to have their menu. And then I'm wondering about seating by the bar area. This sounds like a wonderful endeavor. I just want to make sure that it's safe.
Yes, and follows the real rules for safety. So what do we? Yes,
Exactly.
Sage.
So I would
Yeah.
That-
I see Sage and Jane both.
So, oh, I'm sorry.
We've got 3 hands up, Mayor.
Okay, I don't know who was first.
It's Sage, Jane, and Mandy all have their hand up.
Okay, so we'll do Sage, Jane, and Mandy. Sage?
Okay, so I was initially questioning how close they were to a church, but I kind of got past that with the fact that Grapes has had one and the restaurant that was there already had a liquor license. So that's not my issue. My issue is, here we go again, parking. I count 62 chairs in their plan.
Gee,
Yes.
that's crazy.
So, and that's between the inside and the patio. But they are showing 62 chairs for people to sit in at their establishment. And I'm very curious about where parking, how much parking. You know, it's always sketchy up here with that.
And no one is here at this meeting to discuss this, representing them. So maybe we put it on
It just
hold.
amazes me that we get applicants for liquor licenses that don't show up.
Yeah, I think, well, maybe we don't do anything with it today and make sure they show up next time. Anyway, yes, let's go to Jane and then Mandy.
I was just gonna say, I thought some information was lacking. And
Yes.
while this looks like a great thing and no one's here to answer the question, I think we've had this discussion before, that if the person isn't here to answer our questions on a liquor license application, I would like to table it until we have them available
problem
and
with that.
more, the application filled out better.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Mandy,
Yes, thank you, Dr. Mayor. So a couple of things on this. Both the controlling person and the name on the license don't currently have a DLLC approved basic and management liquor law training course. And that's a requirement to get a license. So
thank you.
I wanted to make that note. Secondarily, really and truly, when it comes down to it, much as I have the exact same concerns that Sage voiced, this particular thing that is in front of us in this format, that's not like part of what we're allowed to say, yay, nay, whatever, or give our recommendation, the capacity situation, that comes to us in a different format. Again, I don't disagree with you, but it's not really part of the debate on this particular situation. I have been to Cornish Pasty multiple times in a couple of their locations. They're locally owned in Arizona. Their first location is right, if anybody knows where the Hotel San Carlos is, it's literally across the street. Their stuff is really good. Their staff has always been super cool. They're packed all the time. They do massive to-go food and they're usually open late night. I've never had a bad experience. I've never had bad service. I've never had bad staff. So I was really excited to see that they were interested in putting a location in Jerome. I also went back and did a liquor license search as far as violations for both the business as well as the applicant and the owner. And the only things I found were a couple of things right in the very beginning when they opened their Tempe location, and those seem to have gotten solved really quickly. And there's been nothing since. But I am going to side with Jane on this. I thought we talked about, and I agree with her, and I think that it should just be kind of how we make precedent. If there's not a representative for the applicant on a liquor license available to answer our questions, I need to table this. I just think that it's appropriate, whether we had questions or not, that they show that this is important and of interest to them and that they're paying attention to what our process is in Jerome.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
I will make a motion to table this.
I'll
Thank you,
second.
Jane. There's a motion and a second to table this discussion. Jane, did you want to add a comment or?
Well, Mandy's the expert on liquor licenses here, and I really appreciate the information she always has. Grapes from, I think if that place closes, and I mean, it has been closed and doesn't have the liquor license, the church is in operation. They have mass, I asked, they have mass every third Saturday now, I guess.
They always have.
And it looked to me from what I read that restaurants are exempt. Do you know, is that the case, Mandy?
It depends on
Being
the
within
location of-
300 feet?
Correct. It depends on the location of the restaurant. But yes, number 12 licenses can be exempted from that distinction. 12s, 16s, 17s, and 20s, which are basically like your beer and wine service only, your beer and wine only establishments, and where it's primarily a restaurant license, because really to get a number 12 restaurant license, you have to have most of your business be food, not alcohol. But I will also point out on the side that Grapes does have an active liquor license. They did renew it. It does exist. Whether they're actively serving liquor or not is neither here nor there. They do currently have an
Okay.
active license.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
So we have a motion to table this. Was there a second?
Yes, there was. Mandy.
There-
tabled
Mandy
motion-
seconded.
it.
Thank you.
Yes, I seconded.
Thank you. And then Candace, I guess, and if this passes, which I assume it will, to please let them know they need
Right.
to participate and answer the questions and blah, blah, blah. Any
And
further
to tell you the
discuss-
truth, that's really I'm sorry, further discussion. Sorry, Dr. Jack. That's really the only reason that I wouldn't have
Yeah,
made a
no,
motion.
I agree with you. though.
Otherwise,
I
is
agree.
that the applicant's not present.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries, passes, and we will table this. Moving to the next item of business that I don't want to discuss. 10C.
I literally just said under mute, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't like this item.
I gotta say, can we take a quick, can I get a motion to delete this? No. No, in reality, motion, item 10C, positions of town manager and town clerk. Okay, so we're going to discuss the process to recruit and hire a town manager and town clerks to replace Candace, who's irreplaceable. She's retiring August 1st. A portion of this discussion may take place in executive session. I'm not sure we need that, but I certainly leave it open to my colleagues. Mandy, I see your hand up, and I see Sage's hand up as well.
I just, wanted to say that this is gonna be a hard one. And
Yes.
I think, it's not only gonna be difficult professionally, but it's gonna be difficult personally. I mean, Candace has been part of our Jerome family for a long time. So, again, I agree with Dr. Jack. She is absolutely irreplaceable. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have moments here where I'm gonna have to like pause and breathe as we go through this process. I understand what's happening, and I am grateful for every moment that you've given us, Candace, but
Yep.
it is gonna be hard, I think, just, for us to do that.
Yes,
I'll
I
do whatever
agree.
I can to facilitate an easy transition.
I
So,
know.
And we know it, so thank you, and we're
I'm
appreciative.
having
of
them
it.
clean out a cell for you just to, with Moma, just to make sure we have a place where we can know where you are. Okay, yes, Sage, please.
So, I have been actually kind of networking with Brandy Bateman, who used to be the right-hand lady to Randy Garrison. And she is currently working with another lady that works in a different municipality, but someone who's very familiar with people that would be qualified applicants that we could maybe reach out to. I don't have a list yet, but she's working on it. I have been
Awesome.
trying to get there. So possibilities hopefully coming from like people that may have worked in other municipalities that are qualified to be a town manager, because this one is going to be really hard.
Yeah.
We really need someone who knows what they're doing when they sit in her chair.
Yes, ma'am. Well said. Thank you. I appreciate your effort on that, Sage, in following up with some of that. You never know, we might get lucky,
Alex
So,
has her hand up.
Alex, your hand, I see 5 fingers now. Holy mackerel.
Candace has been Candace has been there to help me the whole time I've been on council. Candace, everything Mandy said and much, much more.
Thank you.
We have new Rosas going, we have a new zoning administrator. We're just really gonna need someone that's gonna be able to take in the reins and just keep us afloat. So, thank you, Sage, for networking. If no one knows who Brandy Bateman is, she was the right-hand lady to Randy Garrison.
Yeah, shoot.
So who got overturned in this election with the new Donna Michaels. So this lady really is on the ball. I was hoping you were going to say Brandy was going to take over, try to take over when
I asked
Candace
her.
is gone.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she knows lots of qualified applicants,
Yeah,
or if
yeah.
anyone knows any qualified applicants. And I would like Candace to just speak a little bit on what she thinks our discussion of the progress to recruit, not only your position, but the town clerk as well. Like, what kind of wonderful, wise words do you have to tell us about how this is going to be easier for us?
Well, I think we need to start advertising now, right now, for both positions. You might end up finding somebody that can do both, hold both titles as I did, or you might need to hire as separate. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I guess to advertise and see what happens,
Yes.
and some towns use a headhunting firm, but those towns are much larger than ours.
Yeah,
It costs a
Yeah.
lot of money.
it does. You're right,
and,
Sage.
The rates for these positions are very high, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll
Yeah.
find somebody that
Somebody-
wants to be here, as I did, you know.
Maybe
and-
there's a council member that's interested in the position. You never
You
know.
have to be off of council for a year to take any
Yeah.
position with the town.
do.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Um,
Can we
so
pass an
I would just
exemption?
suggest, I would just suggest that we advertise right away.
Yes.
You know, I don't know what else to say beyond that,
No.
you know, and I'll craft an advertisement to try to highlight the aspects of the job that we really need. We need experience, obviously. I think that you all agree that you want to find somebody with municipal experience.
Yeah.
And I can advertise for both positions separately and we'll see what happens, you know.
Great. Great.
Throw it all out there and see.
Tough shoes to fill. We love you. We appreciate you. The good news is you'll be around to sing when we need a singer.
Well, I'm not going anywhere.
No, no, no.
I'm not,
No,
I'm not leaving town. I plan to
know.
live here forever.
Great.
And at least that's my hope. And
Yay. Yay.
as I've said to you, there are certain aspects of this job that I do that are kind of outside of the realm of clerk and manager, such as the codification of the town code, the website, things like that. I'm happy to continue to do for you. You know, we can talk
Great.
about that more in the
Great.
future.
As a
you know,
consultant.
on a
if you
contract
will.
or something.
Yeah. Gotcha.
No problem with that. And I would enjoy that. I would like to keep my hand in a little bit, you
Yeah.
know, it's hard to leave this behind. It really is.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that very much and
I think it too.
keep the conversation going. Keep, think what might work. Everyone here so appreciates you. And like I say, it's just tough shoes to fill. But thank you for everything.
And can I
And
just,
Sage, thanks for shaking the tree a little bit, looking. I appreciate that. That's
I
great.
just want to state publicly that I'm not leaving because I'm not happy here.
No,
I really have loved my job here. It's just that I'm about to turn 70 and I'm facing some health issues. I think I'm fine, but I really have to put my health first and
yes,
kind of a wake up call. But
Yep.
I'll be around for quite a while and I'll
I
be
hope
helping
so.
out on the
We all hope
sidelines
so.
however I can.
thank you so much. We're going to move to and from the council now. If anyone, Mandy probably, but if there's, and Alex, of course.
Of course me, but let Alex go
We'll
first.
Alex go first because he's got all these fingers pointing at us. So Alex, please.
Okay, so we have our flashing lights for oversized trucks, but we still had 8 people that did not see the flashing lights. So I don't know if we are allowed legally to implement higher fines and start making examples of people that don't see 3 different flashing lights telling you not to come up here. If we need to put this on a future agenda item, talk to whoever we need to talk to.
Alan, yeah,
I'm sure we just keep complaining to ADOT and pretty soon they're gonna say, we need to do something for these people or they're gonna never get off our back.
good. That's a
So
great
then
one.
I'd like to get some kind of update on the hotel glass removal and replacement where we're looking at like apples to apples and not oranges and apples that we had talked about a month or so ago.
Just a quick
And then
comment.
one,
A quick
Uh-huh.
comment, a quick comment on that. Marty is looking into, it's Wright Brothers Glass. Nancy Robinson had suggested that. And Marty is going down there. So until he talks to them to see what they can offer, that's where we're at right now.
Great.
okay, hopefully we have maybe an update on our March meeting.
Yeah,
And then I have one more thing. That multi-board meeting that was mentioned with our zoning administrator, our new zoning administrator and all our boards, kind of a meet and greet and
Mhm.
figure it out. We should probably have Margie Hardy there because she's not happy about those resolutions. But it's more work for whoever has to do the minutes, but I appreciate the longer minutes and not the abbreviated ones myself. And that's it
Yep.
for me.
Great. Well done. Thank you, Alex. Always a pleasure.
just one comment about that. The action minutes are temporary holding spaces until we have the full minutes. So, you know, okay.
Thank you. Mandy, did you have?
Well, Alex covered one of mine with the Hotel Jerome window situation, so cool. And then the other one was kind of covered with the, let's all scare the crap out of Will. So
Well, there
that's
you
good.
go. If he comes back with a shaved beard, we're in trouble.
Yeah. My last one is that Town of Clarkdale did something that I would like to see us do as well. And so maybe we could either have a discussion or just pop a resolution on the agenda and then discuss. Candace, it was Town of Clarkdale's resolution 1658 reference.
Okay.
And it's their legislative response policy. And basically the short and the sweet synopsis says that the legislative response policy would provide parameters authorizing the town manager and mayor to provide input on bills under consideration by the Arizona legislature and authorize the mayor and town clerk to execute the necessary documents. The whole point is that because we don't meet all the time like other municipalities, this allows us as a council, as a town, to speak officially on something at the state legislature, or I would like to see it expanded to any political body without having to have a meeting to discuss it.
Okay,
Like
I'll look at
basically,
that.
if we all kind of if Candace says, hey, how do you all feel about this? And we all feel the same way about it, or we've all expressed that previously, we don't have to have like a specific thing and we can just roll with it. I saw it a couple of weeks ago, thought it was a good idea, but then after yesterday's debacle, I thought that, we need to have something on the books where if something like that happens again, where it just runs real fast and we don't have time to talk about it as a council, put it on an agenda. We don't have the time to agendize it. We at least are able to make a statement on behalf of the town's needs. So thank you.
Good. Very good. Sounds good. Okay, we good? I think we got everything covered and phew. Oh, Jane. Oh,
Just
Jane.
one quick one.
Yes,
We
please.
had this issue with a conditional use permit for temporary construction
Yeah.
shed or whatever we're calling it. There's nothing in the C1 zone in the ordinance as there is for the commercial zone, as there is for the residential and the agricultural zone. And I'm not sure whether it's council discuss it and direct planning and zoning to
Mhm.
talk about an ordinance amendment, how that goes. I think we can.
You can.
Can we just direct P and Z to discuss that?
Mhm.
To take a look at that section so that it's a little clearer across the board?
Right. P and Z can also initiate it on their own.
Okay,
And I can discuss this with Will, and maybe he can just bring it up with P and Z without having to go the extra step to council first.
right, okay.
Sounds good. Any other questions, comments for the good of the order? It's
Motion to
9:00.
adjourn.
I think so. Can we get a motion to adjourn? Was that Sage that made a motion to adjourn?
Second.
And we got a second, Mandy. Oh my Lord. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned now at 9:01.
Thank you,
all.
everyone.
Great meeting,
Hey,
very
thanks,
productive,
y'all.
very productive, everyone.
Have an
and-
awesome night, everybody.
And we'll be getting
Bye.
news about the doodle about our next
Will.
special meeting. Thank you all very much. It's great working with you.
Thanks for
Bill,
hanging in there,
welcome.
Will.
We're delighted you're here. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Best wishes.
Again, it's a pleasure.
Well.
Okay, all the best, everyone.